Hey everyone, this is November 12th, 2017, and before I start this video, I would like to say that I am not any type of investor expert, financial expert of any kind, or health expert, and anything I talk about in my videos are personal opinion. And any facts or something you comprehend as facts, don't take my word for anything, because I can mess up because I don't have anything printed in front of me when I'm talking. I'm just trying to go by a little recollection. I paraphrase a lot. So if there's anything in my videos that you're interested in, I suggest you do your own research. Okay? But anyway, there was an article published on June 28th at Reuters about the World Bank launching a pandemic bond. Now, if anybody's aware out there and reading news, they're aware of the bubonic plague that Madagascar has problems with, I guess, almost on a yearly basis. I mean, they even have a plague season, okay? Anyway, the bubonic plague over there has become more severe since another form is showing up over there. It's the pneumonic plague. And the pneumonic plague, out of all the cases that have evolved over there, it's about 70% of the people, or the cases I should say, are getting this pneumonic plague. And the pneumonic plague can show up, symptoms can appear 2 to 4 days after getting the bacteria, which can be spread, person to person via airborne distribution, like through coughing and sneezing and spitting. And it's treatable with antibiotics, but that's only if it's treated promptly, like within, the first day to 3 days, something like that. I read somewhere 24 hours, but how true that is, I don't know. And the last time I looked, there was probably close to 2,000 people that had been infected with plague, bubonic or pneumonic. And about close to 150, I think, had died. Well, I think one place said 140 something. Another article I read said 160 something. So I don't know. Figure about 150 to 200. And there were 10 nations as of yesterday, or 10 countries that are being warned, that it could spread there. Also, you may be aware of Uganda, however you pronounce that, is dealing with Marburg Virus Disease, which is clinically similar to Ebola, which is, it's a hemorrhagic fever. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I live in Texas. I'm an old Southern gal, as I always say. But anyway, that virus is a really bad one too, because it can be spread from blood, bodily fluids, contact with tools or equipment. So it's pretty bad. And last I read on that, there have been 5 people affected with it. I do not recall if all of them died, but there is no licensed treatment for that Marburg virus. And Madagascar, the Republic of Madagascar, is an island off the east coast of Africa. And they still have air travel ongoing. They still have ferry services, because I guess there's a lot of little islands around there. And Uganda is on the continent of Africa, near May butt right up to Kenya, I don't recall. But these are two, we've got a bacterial infection going on, we've got a virus being spread, and they could just easily get out of hand and go global. So when I read about that bond back in June, I knew there had been several instances of, headlines about bird flu and Zika virus and, I don't know, cholera, but when I read about that bond, it just hit me. Well, I wonder what's new, it's going to pop up. I mean, we got people with bonds. It's the first of its kind, and I mean, you got to realize that when you have investors and asset managers and pensions and endowments that are investing in these bonds, it makes it all sound good that it's helping these health crises, helping to fund, whatever is needed to suppress this, I guess, or get rid of it, whatever. But you have to keep in mind that these institutions or people that are invested in it, they're probably going to make a profit somehow. I mean, it's not like they're just donating, okay? They're buying bonds for a reason. So they're probably going to make some type of profit in the long run. And how can they make profit off of pandemics and epidemics unless, it happens? It just kind of freaks me out. To me, they're pandering pandemics. And then what freaked me out even more is I read another article about the World Bank, helping with pandemic simulation exercises. And there was 4 this past year. And then some other article I read, pandemic could arrive sooner than later. I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist. I know these pandemics and epidemics happen, but when you have something that's, this bond, I don't know, it just really bothered me. I felt like they were pandering pandemics, like the old medicine man with his car or horse and wagon going around and selling tonics, to countryside folk or something and preying on their weaknesses. Well, the bonds aren't preying on the investors' weaknesses, but it is, to me, preying on the people that are affected by these diseases, because it's gambling with their lives in a way. To me, I don't know how anyone with a good conscience could go out and buy bonds hoping to make some type of profit. I mean, they get some kind of coupons. There's swaps and counter swaps. You'd have to be, know about all that stuff to realize what's done there. But yes, they have a risk too. All of the investors have a risk. They could lose all their money. But the article about the bonds made it seem like, oh, it's such a good thing, It's like all the investors are acting like an insurance company. Well, hex bells. If you want to help with the pandemic, donate your money. Don't buy bonds. Donate your money. Donate medical supplies. Donate your experience as a professional medical person, volunteer work. I mean, why go out there and try to make money? Isn't it bad enough that, I shouldn't say bad enough, but pharmaceutical companies, they make money when you have something a big epidemic or pandemic. And as we all know, a lot of countries get that stuff cheaper. And just think about it. If you have an epidemic that's kind of like, around that country or whatever, it starts to break out. But if it goes global and becomes an actual pandemic, I mean, look at the pneumonic plague. Do you really think there's enough antibiotics to treat, who's to say millions of people? If this, if it goes global? And then Marburg virus, I mean, there's no licensed treatment. I mean, if either of these go global, we're in some territory, FU'd, man. It could be really bad. And it upsets me because they know the people, I don't know what you call them, the world leaders, whatever. They realize the dangers, yet they're still letting travel out of that country, out of Madagascar, go on. I mean, if this financial institute that these bonds are for, to me, this is just my opinion, they ought to quarantine that country, man. They ought to block all travel. And the money that they make from selling these bonds should go to help that economy as it goes down the hole because, they're not getting their tourists or, I don't know, whatever they need. I mean, stop this crap in its tracks before it gets out, before it gets to those 10 nations, before it goes out of Africa and into the UK or other parts of the European Union or over here to the Americas. I mean, if I were a world leader, I'd shut that place down. I'd block it off. There wouldn't be nobody going in. There wouldn't be nobody going out. The only people going in are the people to help with the problem. And the supplies needed to help with the problem. So that's my Sporkplode today. I hope I covered about everything I wanted to say there. I probably didn't. And I probably look like a fool talking about this stuff. But, if it gets out of the country, it's the world leaders to blame for that. That's all I could say if it goes global. If you want some of the source links for what I talked about here about the pandemic bond and the pneumonic plague and Marburg virus, then you can visit my website at patriciaspork.com. And anyway, okay, that's my Sporkplode. I need to get off of here because my husband's going to be hitting the door in a minute, and I'll probably have 8 dogs at the back door scratching or barking to get in. Because most of all the 8 I have probably went out there with him. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. I see at least 2 here. Well, anyway, thanks for stopping by, checking out the video. I know I'm not the best presenter or the best speaker, but I try to be fairly honest in my opinion. I even see a dog back here in my glass now. Oh, yeah. You can kind of make it out, can you? Ooh, look at there. Licking her paw. Okay. Well, I'm gone. Have a good evening. And if you're religious, let's pray for the people in Madagascar and Uganda. Okay. Thanks so much. Bye.